Hello and welcome. In the next couple videos, we will be producing and 3D modeling the other components that make up the car. The first one and the most challenging one is going to be this aluminum chassis that was CNC'd again by Mr. Rose, and the seniors helped with creating these. And so I want you guys to actually 3D model these, and then once you 3D model it and create a drawing like you see right here, I will then give you the aluminum chassis right here. So each part that you make and then create a drawing of, I will then give you these stock pieces. So then we will virtually assemble the car, and then we will assemble the car IRL. So you already have your car shell. I want you to go back into that part studio that you have created this car shell in, and hide the car shell. And we're going to continue P key for the planes, and we're going to continue making parts in this part studio. So the name of mine is Part Tutorials. I've went ahead and actually created all these other pieces too. So like the wheel parts, and then the car assembly, we'll actually get into that after. So right now we're focusing on this car chassis. So the car chassis, I'm going to start it off by, this gives you a lot of information, this top view here. It's 2 by 3.5, and then I'm going to, so I'll make that square, and then I'll start to make cuts into that square. So let's get started. So I'm going to start a sketch on the top view, N to get normal to that. Oh, and it looks like my origin isn't showing up, so got the origin there. And then rectangle R, it's a center point rectangle. Click on the center, move it out, and then I'm going to dimension this 2 by 3.5, and then I'm going to extrude it, and it's a 1/4 inch thick, so 0.25 is my extrude. So now I have this little block here. I'm going to start making some cuts into it. So, and I can get rid of the planes. I don't really need them at this point. And so if I look over at the drawing, and I will be giving you guys these drawings to use as a reference as well, to help you guys along the way. So the first piece here, I don't really like that dimension. Let's get this dimension instead, and that's 2. Okay, so the first piece, so again, I made these very easy to follow. I haven't put in a bunch of notes or anything. So when you see, it's a symmetrical part. So these are all the same. These holes are all the same. These radii are all the same. And that's just going to be the assumption when we're making this part. And to keep it basic, I'm not going to require you to put in a bunch of notes and stuff too. So the first cutout, I'm going to make these 2 cuts, 2 squares at 2 by 0.375. So sketch, I'm going to click on the top, and then this time I'm going to do a corner rectangle, or G is the hotkey for that. I'm going to select the side and then come down, and then I'm going to do the same over here and come down. Dimension this out. This is going to be 2. This is going to be 2. This is going to be 0.375. And this is going to be 0.375. And then this is going to be, what is that going to be? That is going to be 0.75. So now we're all lined up here, and we're going to make these cuts. So extrude, and then remove, and make sure I'm removing in the right direction, and I am. So you can remove an inch in depth, but I would just get in the habit of removing the actual amount, and it's 1/4. So we're just removing 1/4. All right, that was easy enough. The next part I'm going to do, fairly simple, are these rounds, right? These little rounds here, these little fillets, and they are 0.125. And there's a fillet tool here, and I'm just going to select these corners, and the reason why they have these rounds is because it's a drill bit, and a drill bit is round. So to make something quick and simple, you just kind of leave that round there, because you're never going to get it perfectly square because it's a round drill bit. And then so 0.125, check it off. That looks pretty good. So now we're going to look at these slots. So there's 4 slots. They're identical. And then there are 4 holes that are also identical. So I'm going to do some mirroring with this just to be easy, just so it's easier. And these slots are through the entire part as well. So let's go to this, click on Sketch, click on the top plane here, and now I'm going to actually make, I wasn't having luck before with the slot tool, so I'm going to make some slots. And basically it's just, it's a rectangle with, so it's a rectangle, right, with 2 circles, and that's a slot. But we're going to have to trim that, so M for trim, and I want to get rid of all the lines that are inside the slot. And then I'm going to define the geometry of the slot. So the slot is it's a 1/4. It's a 1/4. Is that, yes? It's a 1/4 in diameter. So D for dimension. So the radius would be 0.125. And this length oops, this length is going to be 0.2, because 0.475 gets me to that center, 0.275 gets me to that, so 0.2. And now I got to, so if I take it and drag it, right, I can move it around. But I need to define where it is on this surface. And that's what these measurements are. So it's 0.2 from the top. So I can put that in. Dimension 0.2. And then .275 from the center point, the closest to that side. So 0.275. .275. And once the geometry turns all black, that means it's fully defined. So I can't move it around. It's not going to change dimensions. It's not going to change sizes. It's right. It's defined. It has a definition. So it's good. Now I'm going to take this and make 4 copies. So to do that, I'm going to create some construction lines. So L and then Q. I'm going to create one construction line there, escape to back out, and then L, Q again from the origin to that side. And now I'm going to use these as mirroring lines. So I'm going to click on the mirror feature, and then I'm going to select this mirror line, and then I'm just going to select all my entities. And I have it mirrored over there. So once I'm good, I can hit escape, and then I'm going to mirror these two over here. So hit the mirror again, select the mirror line, and then I can just make a window there, and I can make a window here, and then I'm good. I have my 4 slots. So it's a big time saver to use mirror, because that would have taken a while to do all of those dimensions in each location. So the next thing I want to do is cut these out, and like I said before, they're totally removed. So 0.25 to remove them, and I'm good. So I have my slots removed. Now I'm just going to have to put in these holes. And these holes end at the face of the slot, this face of the slot. So there's a cool feature in Extrude that I'm going to show you that allows us to do that. So these are located in the middle, so in the middle of the part, so 0.125, and they're 0.375, the center is 0.375 from the edge, and then the actual hole is 0.136. And I used a tap chart to find these, but again, it's a basic project. We're not going to go too crazy in depth with stuff. So, and basically you're going to be getting the screw to then screw in, because all of that, it's been tapped, and all of that stuff has already been done. All right, so it's 0.375 from the edge. So I'll just create a sketch right here. I'll start right there, N for normal to, and then I'm just going to select this center point circle. I'm going to come in here and get to that midpoint, and then move to the left. So it's a dotted line, and then I'm going to dimension it. So selecting from this side to the center, and that is 0.375. And then the hole was 0.136, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yes. And notice it is black. So I don't have to, what I did here with the midpoint is so that I don't have to dimension it vertically, right? Because I already did that with the midpoint. Okay, so once it's black, I know I can do some 3D modeling with it, with the sketch. So I'm gonna hit extrude, I'm gonna hit remove. And then this is where the cool little trick I was telling you about. And so instead of blind, so when the end type is blind, you specify where it ends. There are other settings. So if you go to up to next, that's just going to go up to the next feature. And the next feature was that hole. So that's where it's going to stop. It's going to stop at the hole, and that's exactly where you want it to stop. So green check mark, and I'm good. All right, so now we need to create 3 more of these, right? But again, we can mirror. So this is a little bit different. This is a feature mirror, and I'm going to need my planes back. So P for planes. This is a feature mirror, so I can click on mirror, and then I don't want the part because that would be this entire thing. I want features. And what feature am I mirroring? It's that hole. So under mine is extrude 12. It might be different for yours, but you can come in and actually select it also. And notice extrude 12 comes up here. So the plane that I want to mirror, it can be either or. It could be the front or the right. I'm gonna mirror it on the right. And notice I have my hole. So I don't have my hole over here, so I'm going to have to mirror those holes onto the other side of the part. So now what I'm going to do is click on this mirror pattern again. And once again, I'm going to do feature mirror. And I'm going to click on both of these holes. And the plane is going to be my front plane. And notice I have my 4 holes that I need. And that's it. So once you have this all set, you can rename it. So right click here, rename it to chassis. And then you can move on to the next video, which we will be creating the wheel parts. So good luck with this one, and take your time, and you'll do well.